Hi, I'm Pam Fox at pamfox.org. Welcome back to this week's Drink Your Smoothie Challenge. I'm doing a 7-day Drink Your Smoothies challenge to get back into using my Vitamix daily and drinking smoothies, which I haven't entirely gotten away from, but I've kind of gotten away from it. I still drink smoothies quite often, just not every day. Right now, I've really upped my workout game. I'm working out consistently, probably 5 to 6 days a week. And I just really love to come home from a workout and replenish nutrients and water and all the goodness that comes from a smoothie after my workout. So this week I'm doing a 7-day challenge where I'm introducing to you my favorite top 7 smoothies. And like I was saying yesterday, just over the years, I've just played around with smoothies a lot. I've tried a lot of different recipes and just really developed the smoothies that I like, that work for me, and are quick and easy and affordable. And so bananas are in all of my smoothies. I said that yesterday, but actually, exception. There's one smoothie I'm going to be doing this week that you could put bananas in, but I don't. But other than that one, I always put bananas. And so I always keep lots of bananas on hand if I know I'm going to be, wanting to do smoothies in the morning. And I try to keep smoothies in the freezer when they start to go ripe and get spotted. Today, we're going to throw together a quick chocolate cherry smoothie. Now, if you're following on Plantar Reflex and you're wondering why I'm eating chocolate, I eat chocolate. I no longer have an issue with common trigger foods like chocolate. So this is, if chocolate's a trigger food for you, obviously you want to avoid it. But this Drink Your Smoothie Challenge isn't just for people with reflux. It's just a general Drink Your Smoothie Challenge. A couple of these challenges you will be able to do, or a couple of these smoothies you will be able to do if you have reflux. Some of them you won't be able to do. I do have a couple of recipes in my cookbook, Plantar Reflex, that can be found on Amazon that are safe for reflux. But today we're going to do a chocolate cherry smoothie. And of course, I always start with bananas. Now today I'm going to do one regular banana, and then I'm going to add in some frozen bananas because those really ripe bananas that I showed you yesterday, afterwards I just broke those up and put them in my freezer. And I just have them in this bag that I finished some frozen fruit, so I just threw them in this bag. So I just break them up, I just break them up into chunks. I don't even chop them with a knife. Just really quick and easy. I break them up, put them in a bag, stick them in my freezer. And so I like to do about 3 bananas in my smoothies. And to that, I like to add at least a cup of additional whatever. So today it's cherries, and these are frozen cherries that I just keep on hand for this. And then this is the chocolate that I use. It's a cacao powder. Now this is unsweetened chocolate. The fruit in your smoothie is what sweetens this. And I like to do a really large heaping tablespoon. So it's more like 2 tablespoons. But this cacao powder is considered a superfood. It's a natural dark chocolate. It's full of antioxidants, flavonoids, flavanols. And, you can get an organic product like this, which is great. And it's just pure unsweetened dark chocolate powder. And so I've got my bananas and my cherries and my chocolate in there. And then I'm just going to add in a small palmful of walnuts, which I almost always add, not always, but almost always add a little bit of nuts or seeds to my smoothies. And I like to keep my nuts and seeds in the freezer or the refrigerator. I keep mine in the freezer. These are, my local store usually has, you can buy in bulk, but they've got the bulk section shut down because of COVID, and they sell them in these little containers. So you can pick up things like walnuts. I just picked up these Brazil nuts, things like this, hemp hearts, chia, flaxseed, sesame seed, peanuts, almonds, cashews, just a small handful. Sometimes I'll put in just 2 walnuts into a smoothie like this, or 2 Brazil nuts. Gives you a ton of good nutrition, vitamins, healthy fats. A little goes a long way. So, and then we're just going to add water. Just got 2 cups of water here. Guys, I am going to post all of these recipes. I meant to do it yesterday. I will do it today. I'll post them on YouTube in the description box below the video. But they're just so simple. You just put in the fruits that you like. I also mentioned yesterday that I like my smoothies to be the one color so they don't turn out like brown or gray. This chocolate has brown in it, so but it's got the fruit in it as well, so we'll see what color it turns out to be. It won't look like sludge. That's what okay, if you're wearing earbuds, here comes a loud noise. That's all it takes. Now, this is a little thicker than usual, but that's okay. I typically like my smoothies on the thinner side. With this chocolate shake, I do like it a little on the thicker, icy, thicker side. If I wasn't putting in frozen fruit, I would make sure and put ice into this. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a nice, almost purple, beautiful color. It's not brown, you know what I mean? And it's got brown in it, but look at that. Sometimes that happens where it just perfectly fills it to the top of the jar. Not always, sometimes. It's a Vitamix sin to not rinse your pitcher immediately because it just makes more work for you later. Especially if you're doing something like, I don't know, like pancake batter or cashew cheese. All right, let's taste it. Wonderful. Very, very good. All right, so today we're going to talk about weight management just briefly. There's those rings I was looking for yesterday. So I wanted to show you guys this because this is what makes it nice to be on the go. It's got the little spout there and you can put a straw in. So, so a lot of people ask like, well, why do you even do smoothies? Are you trying to lose weight or are you on a special diet? And why don't you just eat the food? Why do you blend it? And what about juicing? So there's all these questions. Really, when it comes to, there's a lot of reasons people drink smoothies, but when it comes to weight management, there's a couple things to keep in mind. So first, let's talk about weight loss. So if you're trying to lose weight, smoothies are a great way to go because you can put a lot of nutrition into a smoothie, a lot of energy into a smoothie, like sugar, glucose, that which gives you, awakeness and energy and help you throughout your day, throughout your morning or whatever. And you can do it, like I said before, quick and easy and cheap. You can do it expensive too. It just depends on where you live and what you're putting in your smoothie. But bananas are one of the most readily available foods, and they're usually pretty cheap, especially when they're spotted and they're discounted and you buy like a whole bunch of them and put them in your freezer, which I have been known to do. If I see them in the store and they're spotted and discounted, I buy what I have a small freezer now that I have a tiny kitchen, but there was a day where I would bring home almost an entire box of bananas if they had them for sale because I could chop them up and put them in my freezer. But when it comes to weight loss, one really important thing to realize is when you're trying to lose weight, what people will typically do is they'll restrict calories and they'll portion control, right? Because they're trying to create that caloric deficiency, which is the most probably commonly accepted or used way to lose weight is to create a caloric deficiency, right? If you're burning more calories than you're consuming, then you're going to create that caloric deficiency and you'll start losing weight. If you're eating more calories than you're burning, then you're going to gain weight. So what a lot of people will do is they'll try to create that caloric deficiency by minimizing what they eat, right? Eating less. Or they'll go on some kind of a diet where they have to count their calories or whatever. And when you do that, you can be successful at weight loss, but what can oftentimes happen, the bad thing that happens is you can have nutrition deficiencies. So if you're eating really small portion and you're not necessarily maybe meeting your caloric needs and you're certainly not meeting your nutrition needs, right? Especially if you're on like a maybe a paleo type diet or something like that, where you're just not eating a whole lot of, well, paleo, it just depends on the type of diet you're on. If you're not eating a whole lot of fruits and vegetables, long term, you possibly are creating nutrition deficiencies, right? Vitamin deficiencies and so forth, fiber deficiency. And those things can start to create problems, and they can cause you to be hungry. They can cause you to be hungry. So if you've ever been on a diet, you know what it's like to be like, oh, I'm starving. I can just eat everything in my refrigerator. I'm so hungry. So with the smoothies, what can begin to happen when you drink them on a regular basis is you start to really fill and meet your sugar needs, your caloric needs, your fiber needs, your water needs, because all of that is in the smoothie. It's just a dense source of nutrition, fiber, and water, right? Because you've got all of this. I mean, for me to sit down and eat 3 bananas, a handful of nuts, and another whole bowl full of fruit. I mean, I could do that, but one, it's gonna take time. 2, I'm probably gonna get kind of sick of eating after I've tried to eat like 2 or 3 bananas. Unless I'm really hungry, it's hard to do. You get through the second banana and you're like, I'm tired of bananas. But in a smoothie form, I don't know, it's just, you just kind of sip on it throughout the morning, and you don't really notice that you're eating, 3 bananas and a cup of cherries. So all that to say is, when you're drinking smoothies, you're meeting your caloric needs for that meal. You're meeting your nutrition needs, your hydration needs, your fiber needs, and so you're less likely to, have those deficiencies that are going to cause you to be tired, or cause you to be whatever, to be hungry. Now, I'm not saying you won't be hungry a couple of hours after you eat this when it's lunchtime. You will be. You'll be very hungry. Just like you normally would, after it's been a couple hours after you've eaten. But that's one thing to keep in mind when it comes to weight loss. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is, if you're trying to lose weight and you're just incorporating in a smoothie every morning, but you're still eating the same, like high fat foods, I don't know, donuts, butter, cheese, whatever, along with the smoothie, and you're not creating that caloric deficit, then you probably won't lose weight. Here's the way I lost weight when I first started drinking these smoothies 7 years ago on a diet called Raw Till 4. I had in the morning, I would make 2 of these, and they would total almost 1,000 calories. And I would drink them over the course of a couple of hours, in the morning while I was getting ready, on my way to work, sipping in the car, at my desk at work, going through emails. It would take me a couple of hours to get through 2 of these. And then at lunchtime, I would turn around and do that again. Now, that might sound really extreme, but here's what happened in the 9 months that I did that. Not only did the weight come off, not only did I feel lighter and feel better, and I was eating a vegan cooked dinner after 4 o'clock. That's why it's called Raw Till 4. So it's a fruit-heavy diet, primarily with smoothies. You don't have to. It just, for my lifestyle, it's what was easy, because I had a full-time job and I was a single mom and all of that. So that's just what worked for me. Instead of sitting down and eating, a whole bowl full of, 8 bananas in one sitting or whatever. The weight just kept coming off and coming off and coming off. But I also healed not completely, I shouldn't say completely, but I healed my lifelong chronic allergies and asthma, where I became completely symptom-free in my life, whereas before I was very, very symptomatic and was taking all kinds of medications for my allergies and my asthma, fast-acting inhalers, nasal sprays, eye drops, steroids, all of that. In just 2 weeks of starting this Raw Till 4 diet, where I was doing 1,000-calorie smoothie at breakfast, 1,000-calorie smoothie for lunch, and then a plant-based cooked, as much food as I possibly cared for dinner, I continued to lose weight, even though you might think, wow, that's a lot of sugar. And I had double this, and all I did was lose weight. So I was creating that caloric deficiency, because, yeah, there's close to, if in 2 of these, there's probably about 800 calories. I was doing that twice a day, and then I was eating a plant-based dinner, which was probably another 800 calories. So that's around 2,400 calories. I had a busy lifestyle. I worked, at work. I was not sedentary. I was on the go all day long. Plus I exercised. So when you work all that out and you start creating that consistent daily caloric deficiency, while you're fulfilling all of those caloric needs, nutrition needs, vitamin needs, water needs, fiber needs, my body just came into a homeostasis and a balance, and it was able to just start healing from those allergies and asthma. I also had rheumatoid arthritis that I was diagnosed at 8 years old, so I've had it my entire life. I've gone in and out of remission my entire life, where I've had periods where I've been symptom free, and I've had periods where I've had, 1, 2, 3, 4-year flare-ups in and out of remission. I have been symptom free from arthritis since I started Raw Till 4 back in 2014. I've been symptom free. I feel great. I have some occasional common stiffness and things like that. I am almost 51 years old and I do work out, so I have the normal kind of stiffness from sitting for long periods of time, or if I do some type of a new workout and then I have like tight hamstrings or stiff hips or something like that. That does happen, but I do not have any of my rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, which is, joint swelling and tenderness and heat and extreme stiffness and pain and just really debilitating, arthritis that can handicap your life. I've been free of that since I've changed my diet. And it started with these smoothies. Now, that was my story. And by the way, probably one of the best things that happened when I started doing these smoothies. And like I said, I was doing it in more of an extreme way. I'm not saying you have to. You can try that. Everyone's different. I was really sick. I'd come off of a long stint of a lot of medications, decades of medications, chronic fatigue, and these other ailments. And I'd had a history of not a very good diet, not really feeding myself and nourishing myself. I thought I had a good diet, but I don't think so now. I don't think I had a good diet now that I look at it through a different lens. But I was going to say one of the best things that happened to me when I was doing this diet, besides all of that, which is amazing, is I overcame my chronic fatigue. And that happened within just a few weeks. I started having more and more energy every day, which is what enabled me to start exercising. And the depression, that went away. And then I had a lot of digestive issues as well, which many of you that have been following me know all about that. And this didn't completely heal my digestive issues. It healed a lot of them, but I continued to have issues that were more related with my hiatal hernia. And that's why I've kind of become the hiatal hernia expert, is through my own trial and error of trying to reverse and heal my own hiatal hernia. So that was my experience with smoothies in the beginning. Now I did that for 9 months. I did Raw Till 4 for 9 months, and I wanted to do it for the rest of my life. I really wanted to, because I wanted to continue and maintain the results I was getting. I didn't want to go back, but I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. For me, it wasn't realistic. Now a lot of people thrive on a fruit heavy or a Raw Till 4 or a raw vegan lifestyle. Many people thrive and they do great and they love it. And that's the key, and that's really the takeaway, and what I really want to transfer to you in this video is that whatever diet you're on, if you want to be on it long term because you're getting the results that you want, it has to be something you thoroughly enjoy, right? It has to work for you. You have to love it. You have to be able to afford it. You have to really look forward to every meal and enjoy your meal, because food and eating is one of the greatest pleasures in life. It really is. It's one of the greatest pleasures in life. And if you find yourself hating that part of your life, it's going to be really hard to stick to that, whatever that diet is that you're on. So when I was on Raw Till 4, one, it was really expensive because it's so fruit heavy. The bananas are affordable, but when you're doing, an 800 calorie banana smoothie twice a day, you have to buy like 2 entire cases of bananas every month, sometimes 3 cases, really. It's just, you go through a lot of bananas. And like I said, I never felt better. I healed. I had so much energy. It was wonderful, but it was expensive, and I was getting so tired of fruit, and I love fruit. Fruit is my absolute favorite. So I just came to a point where I knew it wasn't going to be a long-term thing for me. And so I was trying to figure out, well, what am I going to transition to? What am I going to do next? And what I decided to do next was a diet called the Starch Solution. And I'm going to be sharing things from that book this week. I was looking for it this morning and I can't find it. I think I loaned it to my girlfriend. So if she doesn't have it, I'll order myself another copy. Initial 9 months. This diet, it's very realistic. It's the base of the meals are things like potatoes and and legumes and lentils and oats and pasta and did I say potatoes? I eat a lot of potatoes. So your starches. And then, and then it's complemented with, greens and nuts and seeds and plenty of fruit and that kind of a thing. So, and that's worked really well for me because it's more of a realistic balance. I still get in plenty of raw, not as much raw. I still eat plenty of fruit, not as much fruit, but it's more realistic for me. So that's what I do. I highly recommend the diet because it is just a more realistic way to go. Now, all that being said, some of you are in the opposite camp. You're not trying to weight, you're trying to gain. Well, I probably shouldn't do smoothies because I don't want to lose any more weight. That's the beautiful thing about smoothies is you can customize these for weight loss or weight gain. Now, if you're really an extreme, like if you're obese and you're trying to like lose a lot of weight, I would either minimize the amount of nuts and seeds that you put in or eliminate that altogether. There is fat in the bananas. There is fat in the cherries. There's fat in all fruits and vegetables. It's just in a really small amount. So you will get in those fats. And long term, you could introduce the nuts and seeds in at a later time. But as you're trying to, lose weight, you would want to minimize the higher fat plant foods and just stick with fruit, water, and vegetables. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a green smoothie. It's my #1 favorite go-to smoothie, and a lot of you see me make it many times before. But it's greens and bananas and water. So that's a great way to heal. It's a great way to lose weight. But if you're trying to gain weight, that green smoothie, you would add avocado to it. You would add a palmful of walnuts to it. So there's a lot of ways that you can up the calories of your smoothie by adding in nuts, seeds, coconut, and avocado. So these are your plant foods that are higher in fat. So that's something you could try as well if you want to do smoothies for the purpose of getting in more nutrition, for the purpose of having a quick and easy, meal on the go, but you don't want to, you're scared you're going to lose weight. Put in more nuts, seeds, avocados, and or coconut. And your smoothie is going to taste wonderful. You can also put in things like different milks, like your cashew milks and your hemp milks and your oat, or cashew, hemp, and soy, almond. Those are going to be your high, and coconut. All of those milks are going to have a higher fat content. So you can, instead of using water, you can use those to up the calorie count of your smoothie. Okay? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go and enjoy this and enjoy my day. I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.